And we're live.
So Kyle, we were saying before the show, I don't really care about motorcycles too much, but the fervor and excitement that you and Woody have in our group chat, just talking about it, is like, I'm glad they found something they like so much. Like, that's good. And you passed your test, smartest in class, and
tied for smartest. Yes.
From like how long did it take from like the first takeoff with the license, real motorcyclist, to the crash?
12 minutes. 12 minutes. It took me 12 minutes to crash. So I guess we should start from the beginning, though. But I like that we did that thing that like movies do now, where they start with the part where like some awful shit happens, and they're like 3 days earlier. Yeah. And you're like, go back to the crash. Go back to the crash. So if you guys watched PKN, I got my motorcycle license, from the DMV after I passed my MSF course, and I went to go buy a new motorcycle at my local dealership, and I'm not going to trash them anymore. I trashed the dealership pretty hard during PKN, but since then, the owner of like the whole chain of stores has called me on my phone, and me and him talked it out, and I think they're going to retrain that salesperson. And try to make sure that doesn't happen to anybody else.
Get retrained at Wendy's. It's what's going to happen.
I need to jump in with there was a roast of me that I thought was amazingly good. And so it goes like this. Kyle was negotiating with the man. They had thousands of dollars in add-on fees.
Over 2,000 in like dealer fees. Yeah.
Like the documentation fee, the assembly fee, that like the stuff that the dealer kind of makes up on their own, thousands. So Kyle walked away. Not out of cash, just not wanting to be anybody's fool.
Not ripping me off. Not happening.
Right. You know, I'm nobody's victim. Cool. So as Kyle was doing this, he explained, I used to sell cars, and this is the kind of add-on fees that we would have. Yours is out of this world. And the guy goes, well, we don't sell cars. We sell fun. The reviews poured in. Guys like, you sell type 3 fun.
Yeah. The Google reviews on their thing are hilarious. Some guys like, I came there for type 1 fun. I would have settled for type 2 fun. But no, this is type 3 fun that you sell here, sir. And I'm not buying. And then one guy was like, this is Jordy McGravy here. I came in to buy a gold wing the cup holders were far too small. The cup holders were far too small for my Wendy's chili. Walked out on the spot. Type 3 fun. But like
just 1-star reviews all over this board.
Lots of 1-star reviews. So like I guess that got back to like the guy who owns like the whole chain of stores. Yeah. And they had my cell phone number because I'd done a credit application and everything. And I had already purchased a new motorcycle by the time he called me. And he's like, hey, how can we make this right? After I explained everything that happened. And I wasn't like douchey on the phone with him. I was trying to be real professional about it and like, explain to him like my side of the thing and be nice about it. And he was very professional as well. So I did appreciate him calling me and, apologizing for like everything that went down. I have no ill will toward him or his company at all. And I hope you guys don't either. It's really just that one salesperson whose name I don't even remember who probably just had a bad day or just isn't a very good salesperson or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think they're going to address that.
Or you thought you were just like a rube that just fell off a turnip cart and was going to take advantage of you.
I don't know. Maybe.
Clearly not. You don't give off that vibe. I feel like you would walk into a car dealership authoritatively because you're like, I know all the, I'm a gunslinger. I know, oh, you're trying to pull that? I used to pull that. Yeah.
That's an area. That's one of those little areas of expertise that I have. Like I'm looking at this paper and I'm just like, come on, what are you doing to me? Like this isn't going to work. Like let's move on to like the type 2 fun at least, but anyway, after I talked about all that on PKN, Zach pointed out to me that someone had posted a comment on the PKN YouTube video that said, hey, I'm at I want to get the name of the dealership right. I know it, but I want to make 100% sure I'm getting it right. It's in Conyers. I think
this is a different dealership.
Yeah.
Do you need the PKN link? Do you want me to help you?
No. It has nothing to do with that. I'm just going to Google.
Okay.
And this was a good one.
But he posted a comment on there, and he's over in Conyers. It's Conyers Mountain Motorsports. It's a dealership that's like a little over an hour from me. And but he posted a comment on PKN that said, "Hey, come here and we'll make you a good deal." So I was just like, I just had woke up when I saw that, and I was like, "Shit, let's go." So I took a shower, got dressed, and I drove all the way up to Conyers. And as soon as I walked in, it was a completely different experience, and not because I'm Kyle or whatever. It like I know they have a receptionist there who's immediately like, "Hey, welcome to Conyers Motorsports. How can I help you?" And she's just like, I don't know. I think I want to buy a bike today. Oh, good for you. It's like a really nice lady. And then like a completely different salesperson who doesn't know who I am comes over, and he's super nice. And he's like, immediately, he's like, a naked street bike, mid-sized. All right, we got 3 great options for you. And he's like running me through the 3 options. Like he immediately narrows down what I'm looking for, directs me to the 3 best options for what I'm trying to achieve. And then starts contrasting and comparing really effectively, telling me things I didn't know about these bikes. And I've done a lot of research, but I still didn't know this stuff. And it was awesome. I was like, this is so much better. I'm going to buy a motorcycle from this man. And we settled on the Honda. I want to get the name right. Is it the CBR?
No.
This is a CB, right? CB 650
ABS.
Yeah, it's 650 ABS. It's fucking sick, beautiful motorcycle. And I'd already decided, like, I'm going to buy this motorcycle. And then like a couple more guys walk over and they're like, "You're Kyle." And I'm like, yeah. We've been trying to get a hold of you. We've had our general manager calling the other store that you dealt with. They will not give your number up, by the way. We've been doing this and that and looking everywhere. We're so glad you're here. And so I dealt with Dustin, who is a patron. And Dustin works with the internet sales team there in Conyers, and his partner there was like, "Hey, if you're going to mention that anybody made this happen, it's the internet sales team at Conyers." All right, I'll let them know. I've let them know that you're the people responsible. And so I dealt with those 2 guys, mostly Dustin. Dustin like came over, like ran my credit, presented me the numbers. He's like, "As you can see, this is the out the door price."
For people who don't know the previous story, the other dealership really hid the out the door price. And even when Kyle asked for it, they came back with monthly payments at least once or twice. So it felt a little sneaky.
Yeah. And that's like, I've sold cars. That's what you do when you're trying to be sneaky. You know, you're like, "Hey, here's $400 a month for 3,000 years. Go ahead and sign right there. Your ancestors will pay this Honda off in no time."
It's like a student loan. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, and in my case, I don't care at all how much the monthly payment is. I mean, obviously I don't want to pay $2,000 a month for a motorcycle. That's absurd. But like anywhere between $100 and $300 a month, which all makes sense, I'm fine, because it depends on the rate and it depends on the term. And I don't care. I care about the out the door price. I care about not getting ripped off. So they gave me a great deal there. There was a small dealer fee, like a very acceptable dealer fee, the kind of thing that I'm accustomed to and that I've seen before. And I walked out. I was just like, yeah, that all looks good. I bought the bike, went through finance, standard finance thing. I was like, I don't think I really need a warranty. No
Did they
problem.
try and push it on you, or were you like VIP where they're like, don't fuck with this guy?
No,
he's gonna make fun of us on his show. I should have done this with the fucking contractors. God damn.
That's her job, right? Like that's her job is to try to sell a warranty, and I think in some cases, depending on who you are and like what you're doing, like maybe a warranty is a good idea. But for me, it just wasn't great because I'm kind of handy. Like I've got a little bit of a mechanical issue with the bike right now that I caused, that I'm gonna fix this evening or in the morning. And I really didn't feel like I needed a warranty. So, but I let her do her whole spiel. Maybe there's something I hadn't heard of before, some new kind of warranty that I might be interested in. But they did want. What was the thing he told me to tell you guys? Because this is kind of cool. They'll give you guys a discount if you go and mention my name.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. If you go to Conyers, I keep forgetting the name.
Do they have to mention yours?
Conyers Mountain. Conyers Mountain Motorsports. If you go in there and tell them, Kyle or FPS Russia or whatever, they'll give you $200 off, whatever you buy. But I really enjoyed my experience.
I'm getting a $200 helmet.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they mean motorcycles. I just specify that.
Gonna drive 7 hours.
I'd like these $130 boots. I'll take that $70 in cash.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they mean motorbikes and probably Polaris and ATVs and shit like that. But I really appreciated the whole situation. We got the bike delivered that day, and so I got the bike shows up, and I'm like, ready to go. I'm like, just park it by the mailbox because I'm gonna go get my gear on and I'm going out riding. So like I immediately get on the bike after they leave and I'm like, oh, you know, I'd sat on it already, but like once I start operating the clutch and riding, I'm like, this is different.
This is powerful.
So Kyle rode light and easier to ride 250cc motorcycles in his training course. If you guys don't know, he took this weekend long training course from the Motorcycle Safety Foundation. It's a good way to get your license and how to, you know, they learn to ride a bike. They teach you smart things.
Yeah, we rode 8 hours the first day and like 3 or 4 hours the next day. Like all day we're riding. And but we're on these smaller bikes, and they're like the traditional style bikes that kind of look like a Harley with like the teardrop tanks and kind of low and saddle seats. And I bought a sport bike or something close to it anyway.
A naked sport bike, I think is what it would be called.
Yeah. And so immediately I'm like, oh, this is different. We're sitting up a little bit higher. The handlebars are nice and narrow. And when I fucking rev this bitch up, it's a 4-cylinder bike. And it sounds completely different from the little thing I was putting around on. It's so angry. The motorcycle is so fucking angry. It's like, you ready to do this, Kyle? Because I'm ready to fucking go. And I'm just like, nah, man, no, let's take it. Let's just chill out. No, let's go. It's just it's so hyped up.
You go from like a lab to a pit bull.
I'm in first gear, and this bike is just like, let's fucking go. It wants to be in 6th gear at 8,000, 9,000 RPMs or something. Like it wants it so bad. And I'm just like, I want to putt around. Let's putt around. So I go on this little ride. And immediately I'm feeling a little awkward. I'm like, I'm not afraid, but I'm like, I feel stiff. I feel stiff. Like I really should have taken it to a big parking lot so I could have like wiggled it around and gotten used to it and really like leaned it over and found what was going on. I made it down the road. I drove 60 miles per hour all the way to where I was going through some light curves, nothing where I had to like really lean over anything, just some like light leaning, just like this sort of thing. Easy, slow curves, through some stoplights, through traffic, through like a downtown area. I had no problem with any of that. But then when I got to like the end of my journey, I had to make this left turn with traffic oncoming and a car already in the intersection that I was going into. So I have to go like, there's a car parked here and I have to come and go around that car and up a hill. And they had left me, they were like on the line. So I had slightly less space and I didn't make it. I did this. You're supposed to look at where you want the bike to go. So I should have had my head turned over here and like not worried about what was directly in front of the tire. But instead I was just like, I just got tunnel vision and looked straight ahead. And that's where I went. I went straight past the car. I hit like a big mud hole that's off road here. Kind of like started coming off the bike, revved the bike up crazy, and like the bike falls over. I fall over. Now I'm laying on the asphalt.
Was it an enormous scene that you made?
It was a medium scene.
How many people saw you? How many?
2 carloads of people like got a real good look. They were sitting there. They were just like sitting right there. And they were kind enough, like not to. They just like, I'm sure they were like, I wonder if he's gonna die. But then there's the oncoming traffic who's like sliding by right past me.
So you're at an intersection making a left, and there's cars sort of parked to your side. So were you at a standstill when this sort of scenario started? I
don't remember. I think I was sort of like at like 10 miles per hour. I was
sitting at a red light, and then it was
I had gotten into like a turning lane, and I was kind of trying to like a rolling start into the turn. I don't think I started from a stop. It worked out that I didn't have to stop in the middle of the road. I wanted to avoid that. And I just didn't make it. I hit the fucking ground pretty fucking hard, but I had all my gear on and like didn't feel a thing.
What do you think you landed on?
Asphalt.
What part of your body do you think you landed on?
My left hip hit, and probably like my shoulder, like probably my, I didn't put my hands out because I don't know. I've got this thing I built into my head long ago about like breaking your hands, like if you catch yourself like that. So I always try to catch myself with forearms and shoulders and stuff when I actually do take a tumble. And I've taken a few doing the stupid shit I've done throughout life. And so I caught myself with mostly like shoulders and forearm and my left hip, which is all like areas of my body with like thick like padding and armor on them. So I didn't feel a thing. And I made sure not to bounce my helmet off the ground because I didn't want to spend another $400. And yeah, I immediately like jumped up, looked at the cars and went, well, I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen 10 minutes into the ownership, but here we are.
You got like your whole visor down, so you're just like, you don't know who I am. And then you just drive away.
They had dark tinted windows, and I've got my visor down, and I'm like, this is saving me a lot of embarrassment right now, because like I bet they're in there, like there's children probably
just like lying. This is my first day on the motorcycle.
There's probably like children in there, like, Mom, that man retarded? Yes, honey.
Well, he is now. Did you see his head bounce off the pavement?
And then I had to like get the bike back up, right? And it's not laying on asphalt. It's laying like in a mud hole. So I've got to it's 470 pounds, I think. And then, plus fuel, I don't know, 3 gallons is 24 pounds.
It's heavy.
Did you do the thing where you like put your back to it and kind of deadlift, or did you just grab the handlebars like a bicycle and ride it?
I considered the thing you just suggested, but I was like, I want it up now. And so I just deadlifted the bike and like popped it up super easily. Probably had a little adrenaline going because it felt like nothing. It felt like 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And got it up, got on it, got it started, and rode through I was just like, we're going now, and just like rode through the mud hole, over the curb, like up the hill, made the next 2 turns.
There you go.
And
2 for 3.
And I pull into Kitty's yard, and I get off, fucking park the bike, examine myself, examine the bike. Bike's fine. The handlebar is a little wonky now. I gotta like straighten those out. Nothing's bent. It's just there's some bolts that need to be loosened. Straighten it back out. You tighten the bolts back up. I just talked to a Honda technician on the phone. Thanks to Dustin again. Big help from that guy. And when the handlebars came in, I dented the tank slightly, but I don't give a shit about that. It's a super tiny dent. It's not like creased or anything. I think I'm the only one who will ever notice it, and I'll probably get it popped out anyway. And that's about it as far as damages to the bike. The bike's got these like sliders on the side, which I'm sure kept the nicer parts of the bike from hitting anything. So, I mean, I was going to fall. I told him when I bought it, I'm like, I'm going down. Like, this is happening. I was like,
of course,
this is happening. And he's like, well, you never know. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm going to drop this thing this week and next week and the week after that. The only question is how fast I'm going when I'm doing it, and if someone hits me when I do it.
Yeah, little did you know it would be later that day.
I mean, I figured it could be. It could be. I'm going to ride tomorrow. I expect to fall.
You think it'll be easy to, like, you sent the video in our group chat of everything seems fine other than the kind of wonky on your steering. That'll be just a quick like whoop whoop whoop.
I think it's the 4 bolts right there by the
it's deceptive. It's actually
find
2
a way
bolts.
to share that.
Yeah, it's actually 2 bolts, not 4. It's 4 on top, but it's 2 on the bottom. So I think that's like a clamp that you're looking at. But yeah, I'm going to the technicians seem to think that loosen the 2 bolts on the bottom, straighten the handlebars out, and it'd be all good.
Well, that's good. I mean, and part of it is like you're probably a little less afraid of falling now that you got one out of the way.
No, I'm more afraid.
You're more afraid.
Oh yeah, more afraid for sure. Yeah, definitely more afraid. Yeah.
Because like you saw the potential for danger at such like a reasonable speed on a reasonable. Yeah,
I could have died. I could have died there. If like because the cars were coming like right next to me because like I turned across a lane of traffic and that lane was busy and continuing. And when I got the bike straightened up, it rolled backwards a little bit before I grabbed the front brake, and it almost rolled with me into traffic. And then I would have died.
It would be tragic if you died, but it would be kind of funny if you were talking about it on Tuesday and then before the show on Thursday, you're dead.
So that's Kyle's bike, and that's 2 bolts, which surprises me, but okay. And everything in that picture is in alignment except for kind of the handlebars and the clamp. So Kyle says nothing's bent. It just needs to sort of be loosened, put back together.
Yeah. So it's I don't know what you're looking at. I see those 4 things up there that look like bolts, but they're just smooth. On the bottom, you have 2 bolts that are like sticking through, and 2 nuts and with washers that attach to them. So there's probably more to that mechanism than meets the eye, but 2 bolts on the bottom should get it loose enough to turn. And if that doesn't, I've watched those videos about getting the yoke like straightened out too. Just those hex, I think they're 20 or 22 millimeter hex bolts. But I went to go buy some wrenches a minute ago because I don't have metric wrenches here. but I forgot my wallet. So I didn't have enough time. I slept all day today. I was up all night last night playing poker in the $50 Discord with the boys, and didn't make it. But I'll go later. Get it straightened out. And because I plan to ride some tomorrow, I got nothing else going on. I'm gonna hit up a big parking lot, and I'm gonna practice my turns. I'm gonna practice like 10 miles, because that's honest. It sounds dumb to someone maybe who doesn't know much about bikes, or maybe it is dumb, but like going fast into curves is easy. It feels like physics are working in your favor. It wants to do that. It wants to stay upright. It wants to do that curvy thing. But at 10 miles per hour, I felt so awkward. Like just turning, I was like, just turn it. And my body's like, my brain's like, don't do it. Don't turn it. It won't work. It feels weird because like on the bike I was practicing on, my hands were out wide. I can't even display like how wide my hands were out. And like a little bit of motion went a long way. Or the other way around, a little bit of motion didn't go a long way. So it was really easy to like dial in those turns. But with this bike, it's a lot closer in. And it's like a little bit goes a long way. It's just like, oh, and we're making a complete left. It's
the way that you ask a bike to turn is counterintuitive. If you want to turn right, you push forward on the right grip. That sounds backwards. It doesn't matter if you believe me, it will work anyway. If you want to turn right, you push forward on the right grip. It's important that people know, because you get into this situation where like you have to ask the bike to turn more, and you need to know how to ask it. The bike can do it. The bike can do so much more than I can ask it. I've ever asked it to. But you want to go left, you push forward on the left handle grip. That's how you do it.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't matter if you believe me. It works either way. I absolutely promise you.
Don't try that in a car. You're gonna careen to the right, clicking on it. Damn. Well, I mean, I was hoping that crash would have made you more bold, but I guess it's smarter that you're kind of hesitant a little bit.
It was scary.
Yeah,
no, it was. But riding is really fun. Just like because like in the class, you never get out of second gear. You never like go above like 25 miles per hour. Like when I did, he was like, slow it down. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to like have a little fun here. And like, I feel like maybe I should go a little faster, figure out what that's like. Slow it down. Like, all right.
I'm the star of the class. 25 is okay for me.
Is that what you were going for? Being like, everybody now look at Kyle. See how Kyle's doing? And that's why the rest of you, that's why your columns are full of frowny faces and he's got gold stars. And that's, I suppose it's going to be me and Kyle at the Friday pizza party, and that's it.
Mushroom, pepperoni, rack house.
Pizza party for you and the
That would be great. That would be, I
mean, he seems like a cool guy from what you've said.
He really did. I'd go to a pizza party with that guy. He seems awesome. Like I went to anybody who's in the area, the Fayetteville MSF course. You find it with Google. Awesome experience there. Worth every penny. I'm probably going to go back and take their advanced rider class.